On this episode of kpopRC, we check out a new truck. Yeah, it's a freshie. Also, I check out the Osmo action camera. It's pretty sweet. Spoiler, it's pretty freaking sweet. Yo, welcome to kpopRC, the channel where I make sick videos of scale models. Pretty much anything that's got a remote. So, don't forget to sub up for giveaways and sick-ass RC content. Sometimes there's fire. Introducing Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends. It's the sponsor for this week's episode of kpopRC. Raid is a turn-based RPG game done right. Done right, done right, done right. You know how it's done right? 15 million downloads in 6 months. That's crazy. That's crazy. Raid Shadow Legends. That isn't a viral game. I don't know. I don't know what is. Come on. I know. You've already heard about Raid everywhere. But you know, there's a great reason for it. Raid is one of the top 3 ranked RPGs on the Google Play Store. Raid Shadow Legends. And it's just been nominated as a finalist for the Google Play Best 2019 Users' Choice Award. Phew. Yeah, check out the badge. People are loving this game. You should probably download it. The link is in the description. Do it. It's fun. I've been playing it a lot, you know? So what's Raid? It's an epic, dark fantasy done right. I'm telling you, man, Raid Shadow Legends. It's a hero collection turn-based game with over 400 champions for you to collect and personally customize. Check it out, man. You can gather orcs, undead, knights, elves, man. You can explore more than 1 million champion builds. You can discover 13 spectacular locations. And you can also enjoy a fully voiced story campaign, right? And you can play with your friends. Raid is adding more than 16 new champions every month. There's always new strategies, new balance, and new warriors to play with. Get tons of free champions, equipment, and other free cool stuff just for learning how to play. Once you complete the missions, you will get one of the best legendaries champion in the game, the Arbiter. Pretty sweet. Go to the video description, click on the special links, and you will get 50,000 silver. And a free champion as part of the new player program to start your journey. Good luck, and I'll see you there. Yo, on this week of kpopRC, it's my birthday. So what better way to celebrate than to get a new truck, right? Right? Totally. We also take a look at the DJI Osmo action because quite frankly, these new generation action faux pros is just a little bit too good to ignore. Then, of course, we proceed to 3D print and build a gyroscopically spun camera crane. Why not take advantage of these seriously high frame rates at full 1080p, right? That's right, you heard right. Ending it all off with some parts going on this brand spanker, the Baja Ray. Let's get started. Yo, so check it out. This is my my new Losi Baja Ray. A little bit late to the party though, unfortunately. I think these have been out already for I think almost close to 3 years. They have had a reboot with a licensed Ford Raptor body, as you can see here, which is like a big reason I bought it because I thought it looked cool and like I like it when they're, you know, real licensed bodies as opposed to like, you know, shitty looking fucking spaceships or whatever. Anyway, this is my present to myself. The coolest parts about the Baja Ray are the solid rear wheel axle. You can see it there. It's basically a short course truck or like a trophy truck, or like one of those Baja racers in the desert. It's got independent suspension in the front, but it's got a solid rear wheel axle in the back, which makes it pretty cool. And also, it's got a very soft plush suspension, so it will absorb a lot of scale size bumps. I've seen it do way bigger than scale things, but let's try to keep this thing in one piece, shall I? Anyway, wicked. It's pretty sweet. It's pretty dope. Action cams, man. I gotta tell you, I've used my fair share, from chasing boats with camera poles to strapping 6 cameras on 6 cars, to even sinking one in a river. The list goes on. The go-to for kpopRC has always been the Hero 4 Black GoPro. It served me pretty well, even though it crashed every goddamn single time I used it. I tried everything. I didn't feel the need to upgrade. It didn't seem like there had been much of a leap in quality, so I slept on them. That is, until now. Right off the bat, the thing is built like a tank. Ooh, it's heavy. It's heavier than the GoPro. Like a 70s overhead school projector. This thing's garbage. This is terrible. It's a Hero 4, they're on Hero 8. This thing's also not very good, but at least it shoots 4K. But it's terrible bitrate. It always crashes. This thing always crashes on me. I don't know why, it always crashes. I hate it. But this guy, I'm looking forward to this guy only because of the super stabilization, you know what I mean? That's what I'm looking forward to the most. There are a lot of other cool features. The high frame rates are pretty sweet. You can do up to 240 frames per second at 1080, which is pretty nutty. Oh, interesting. So look, it's actually part of the bottom, so yeah, okay, so this is gonna be a lot heavier than the GoPro. Pretty cool setup. So I 3D printed a bracket here. The bracket screws to the cage locations. It's pretty sweet. It's just like a little piece of plastic with standoffs. And then there's a bearing in the center. The bearing is actually out of necessity, just because I had these bearings laying around. Like, this is a Baja HPI 5th scale Baja front wheel bearing. And the top of this here, this the actual receiving end to the bearing, the like axle that this spins on, that is also a front Baja. It's like a wheel hub. I basically 3D printed this piece of plastic to fit where a Baja wheel would go. And then on the other side here, this is where the axle goes into the bearing on the front hub. So this is just a hub from 5th scale Baja. Yeah, I'll leave the build files on Thingiverse. If you want to find me on Thingiverse, all the stuff that I've been designing in 3D is up there. So you can like download, you know, my intercooler, or you can download the whole E30 front end, like that thing's like the whole thing is up there. And you can download this, but just understand that you're gonna have to have a Baja front hub in order for it to work. All right, so check it out. I put a 32 mil socket. I'm using it as a counterweight because it seems to be perfectly counterweighted to the Osmo Action with that like enclosure. It's actually pretty heavy. Like this whole thing's actually, that's actually pretty heavy. I would say that's like maybe like 1.5 pounds. So you can actually see the truck suspension like sink based on the weight of this rig. But like it's like perfectly balanced, right? It's perfectly balanced. Like the whole idea is to like not spin it. Like maybe I'll spin it for a few shots, the intro shots for this video, call it glory shots, where I'm switching between places I'm running with the same rig. The whole idea of this rig is to just like leave it because the weight of the rig keeps the camera in the same position. It's like its own sort of gyro stabilization. And with super high frame rates, which this thing shoots I think 200 frames per second, so any kind of like weird shake will get smoothed out just because of the like insanely high frame rate. I could be shooting this on that hyper smooth stabilization, but what that does is it actually crops into the sensor. So you have this like crazy fisheye lens on the front here, and it's like really wide, but when you put the stabilization, it crops in, and it like really crops in. It's like no longer a fisheye at that point. Yeah. Oh, right, yeah. Also, this setup is gonna get a couple more things. I think I'm gonna add a sail. There's gonna be a sail here. There's like a piece of styrene like this, and that piece of styrene is gonna be right here, perpendicular to the camera. So hopefully the point of view of the camera won't really see this. I don't know how big it has to be because I have no idea. But the whole point of this is that when the car is driving this direction, this sail, the air going over the car, this sail will keep the camera in one position. So, you know, we're talking about like just like inertia, and just like how objects in motion like to stay in motion, and objects not in motion like to not be in motion, you know what I'm saying? So it'll also kick it straight. But yeah, sick. This is sweet. Hell of a birthday present, right? I broke it. I broke the mount that holds the Osmo Action to the pole. Damn it. Anyway, you're gonna have to stay tuned to the next episode to see how I rectify and strengthen those mounts. But in the meantime, enjoy some of these awesome slow-mo shots from the Osmo Action Cam. The thing's pretty good. If you look at the leaves, you can see not nearly as much artifacting as with a GoPro, which is pretty impressive.
Almost lost you. Oh, you broke. That was it. Okay.
That's it for this week's episode of kpopRC. Stay tuned for the next installment of the Baja Ray project, where we install all of these goodies. Also, I revamp the spinning camera rig, print stronger supports, and I also make a second camera rig. Stay tuned for that. Also, don't forget to check out Raid Shadow Legends, link in the description. They sponsored this video and I really appreciate them for doing that. That's awesome. So if you want to support those who support kpopRC, check out Raid Shadow Legends. Wicked. K-pop out.